In a remote mountain village, there stands an ancient mansion that has been abandoned for many years. This mansion was once the residence of a wealthy local merchant, but many years ago, the merchant's family died under mysterious circumstances. Since then, the mansion has been the subject of various eerie rumors, and no one has dared to approach it. I am a young adventurer, filled with curiosity about all things mysterious. After hearing the legend surrounding this mansion, I decided to explore it alone one night. As night fell and the moon hung high in the sky, I arrived at the mansion's front gate. The door was tightly shut, but the lock had long since rusted. With a gentle push, the door creaked open. A musty, decaying smell wafted out, sending a shiver down my spine. Stepping into the courtyard, the moonlight cast a pale glow on the ground. The surroundings were eerily silent, with only the sound of my own footsteps echoing through the empty yard. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept by, rustling the leaves behind me. I turned to look, but there was nothing there. I cautiously entered the main house, where the furnishings were covered in dust and cobwebs. On the wall of the main hall hung a portrait of the wealthy merchant, his eyes seemingly fixed on me with an intense gaze. A chill ran down my spine, but I forced myself to remain calm and continued further inside. Entering the bedroom, I noticed that the bedding was still on the bed, though it was now tattered and worn. As my hand accidentally brushed against the bedpost, there was a loud crack, and a piece of the bedpost broke off. Immediately after, I heard a faint, sorrowful weeping, as if it came from another world. Terrified, I turned to run, but the door suddenly slammed shut, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't open it. At that moment, the temperature in the room dropped sharply, and I felt an invisible hand slowly closing in on my neck. "Who's there? Show yourself!" I shouted, my voice trembling. However, the only response was the haunting echo of the weeping. Frantically looking around, I noticed a shadowy figure slowly moving in the corner of the room. I looked around in terror, noticing a dark shadow slowly moving in the corner of the room. As the shadow drew closer, I could see that it was a woman dressed in ancient attire, her face pale and her eyes sunken. Who are you?" I stammered. The woman didn't answer, but instead reached out her hands and lunged at me. I quickly dodged, but accidentally tripped and fell to the ground. Just when I thought I was doomed, a sudden bright light appeared, and the woman vanished. Gasping for breath, I realized that my phone had fallen out, and the light from its screen had saved me. I didn't dare stay any longer and crawled out of the ancient mansion. After returning home, I thought it was all over, but the nightmare had just begun. Every night, I would dream of that woman. In the dreams, she would cry and plead, saying she had died unjustly and demanding that I seek justice for her. My mental state deteriorated, and my body grew weaker day by day. To escape this predicament, I decided to return to the mansion to search for clues or a way to resolve her grievance. This time, I brought some protective charms and a flashlight. When I stepped into the mansion again, it felt even more eerie and terrifying than before. I went to the bedroom and carefully searched for clues. Under the bed, I found a yellow diary. Opening it, I discovered records of the daily life of a wealthy merchant's family. It turned out that the merchant's wife had an affair with the butler. After the merchant found out, the two of them killed him and then murdered the rest of the family. The woman I had seen was the merchant's concubine, who had been wrongfully accused of the murders. Understanding her grievance, I decided to seek justice for her. I inquired about the events of that time and eventually found the descendants of the butler. After some persuasion, they admitted to their ancestors' crimes and held a ceremony in front of the mansion to honor the concubine and the merchant's family. After the ceremony, I never had the nightmares again, and the mansion returned to its former tranquility. However, this terrifying experience left an indelible mark on me, and I will never forget it.